You're listening to the Social U podcast, sponsored by Social University. Be sure to follow us on our socials listed in the show notes. Now, let's dive in. I'm Becky Johnson.
And I'm Laura Black.
Welcome to the Social U podcast. Today, we are talking about social media myths, and hopefully we can debunk some of those so that when you are doing your own social media, maybe you don't get disappointed by your results, or maybe you don't expect too much of your social media manager. That is something that would be more along the lines of what a magician would be able to do.
Exactly.
Laura, what is your first social media myth?
Well, I think a lot of people just have such unrealistic expectations. And, we go off the fact that, or a lot of people do who don't do this. Oh, it's just social media. That won't take any time. That's easy. And there's so many things that are, I'm glad we're doing this episode. So I think my number one is you can't predict what's going to go viral.
Absolutely.
You have people who ask you, okay, is this going to be a viral post? Probably not, because you can't predict that. And there's just no telling. And it's always the ones that you don't expect. It's the ones you don't work that hard on. Honestly, I hate to say it like that, but there are some that you pour all your blood, sweat, and tears into, and then they just kind of do okay, which is good because you want that even consistent interaction, engagement, all of that, and you want to grow, but the degree of how far it will go is unpredictable.
Something I think that a lot of people don't realize, you might put up your very first post and it might go viral because there's no accounting for the algorithm and all the things. And it might be the worst post you ever make. Or you could be like the Cocomelon people. I'm sure you've heard of Cocomelon. Everybody with a child within a 100-mile radius of them has heard of Cocomelon. Those people put out like a daily video every day for like 7 years before they gained traction and got popular and became millionaires. Now they're millionaires, but 7 years of daily videos before anybody noticed.
You got to do the hard work. You got to be consistent. You got to do the hard work. You got to just keep plugging at it. And you really can't expect overnight success. I mean, you can always, as they say, hope for the best, but expect the worst and keep working towards that. And you should, but you're never going to be able to predict that.
Yeah. My first one is another thing that people seem to think a lot based on messages that we get that is not true. And that is if you are messaging a brand or an influencer, a celebrity or somebody online, that you are actually talking to that person. You are not talking to that. You're not talking to the CEO of Nike if you comment on or send a DM to Nike's Instagram. Their CEO doesn't see that. That's not who that's going to. That's going to, if it's a big enough company, maybe a team of people. If it's not, it's going to their one social media manager that's trying to keep all the plates spinning. And it's definitely not going to the person that is in charge of the company and can solve all of your problems. The bigger the company, the less likely it is that that person's going to see it. Is it a solopreneur? Then maybe they will. Otherwise, no.
Yeah, I think that's the key there. If it's a solopreneur, you've got a good shot at it, but remember who you're dealing with.
Most celebrities don't do their own social media. A very rare few do, and those usually have their DMs turned off or like never even look at them. But most of the time, you're really hearing from someone's team that is hired to make them look relatable and awesome and all the things. So it may seem like it's that person, but it's not. That's why it's so important when Chuck Norris asks your mom for money on Facebook to understand Chuck Norris is not doing that. Chuck Norris is not on social media, even if he has a profile on every platform.
Oh, you mean that DM I got from Keanu wasn't real?
Man, I wish.
Yeah, if I had that kind of money, if I was a celebrity, I think, there's no way I would do it myself. No,
right?
That's what you pay the marketing people for.
Yeah, I might get on it every once in a while and like say something. Like I might post, but I would never like read things that were sent to me. I would definitely let that go through someone else.
Well, to so many of them, it's probably like watching the tabloids at the grocery store. I mean, there's such dramatic things that come through there that they probably just say, I don't have time for this. Right. It's got to be crazy.
And if you are a celebrity or an influencer or somebody that is married, you're going to be getting a lot of inappropriate things in your DMs, and you would just let somebody else handle that.
Yeah, for sure. Another one that I was thinking about was, everybody thinks they have to be everywhere. It's a myth. You don't have to be on every platform. Do what you can do and be where you need to be. We've said it so many times. If you're wanting a younger demographic, don't put all of your eggs on Facebook. You can't be all things everywhere, and you need to be where your audience is going to be. And your audience isn't everyone.
That is so true. Even if everyone can use what you sell, everyone is still not your audience.
Yeah. And then too, there's that whole issue of bandwidth. And if you're a solopreneur, if you're a small company, if you're, a realtor, if you're, anything on the smaller scale on the team aspect, there's not enough time in the day to do all of that. And there's so many tricks and things that you can do to spread your presence, but that's a lot. And you really don't need to be worn out, and you don't need to wear your audience out either.
That is true.
Yeah.
My next one is a huge one. This actually isn't even one I had on my list, but it just hit me while we were talking. A big social media myth is that every person that you see online selling social media expertise is not a social media expert.
Yep.
There are a lot of people. For instance, I'll give you an example. I know a girl that worked somewhere with me before. She was office staff. And when I say office staff, I mean, she was not directly related in any way to social media or digital marketing. She answered the phones and did customer support, had zero experience. And one day I noticed that she was selling herself as a marketing expert on her Instagram, had got these really polished graphics, and was charging people exorbitant amounts of money to do their social media. First person that hired her was the first person whose social media she ever did.
Wow. Yeah, that's funny you said that, because I have written down, anyone can do social media.
We use a lot of trainings from people on things like funnels and courses and things like that. But people that have proven through history that they are actually able to do those things, not someone whose first course is how to sell a course. And that's how they make their money when they've not actually done it before.
Yeah, so true. And there's so many people trying to, all over my Instagram feed is, hey, all you have to do is do this and sell this course, and you can make 6 figures.
Red flag.
If it seems too good to be true, it's too good to be true. I mean, kind of go with your gut on that one.
Right. You can do almost zero work and make 6 figures. Yeah, everybody would be doing that if you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's work.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on the flip side of that, if anyone can do social media, and it's very frustrating to people who really do this for a living, when a client says, oh, I'm going to let my niece do it, or, oh, my kid's out for summer break, they can do it. It's shocking because they have no idea what goes into actual planning, strategizing, all of the things that will make your company grow and look better and get you to the point where you need to be. And you just got a little pat on the head, like, oh, was that what you thought I was doing? It's shocking to me. And that's a big myth. It's a lot. There's a lot more to it.
And my niece has 5,000 followers on Instagram. That's more than our company has. And it's like, well, your niece is a college girl living her best life, and your company is a plumbing company. There's a reason. It's not the same thing. She's not going to live her best life on your plumbing company page and get you 5,000 followers.
Nope. Just not going to happen.
You're going to post about plumbing.
Fun times.
And it's not going to be the same.
Unless you're hitting that humor really hard, you're not going to get that far.
Right.
You can't tell him a plumber joke all the time.
My next one is another one, speaking of 5,000 followers, and that is that number of followers is the most important metric. That is absolutely not true. 1,000 raving fans beats 5,000 people that never engage with your content. Engagement is the number that you want to look at, because it doesn't matter how many followers you have if nobody's looking at your stuff, if nobody cares about it. If it's a bunch of bots or bot followers that have no interest whatsoever in your content, it's actually going to be worse for your social media, because the algorithm is going to sense that all these people follow you and none of them like your content. So they're not going to want to show it to more people. But if you have 100 people that like and comment and are always looking at your stories, they're going to put your stuff out to more people.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a note on that too. And it goes along with don't buy followers.
Oh,
You're
no.
buying those basically bench warmers that are doing nothing. They're doing nothing for you. And you should always want an authentic follower over anything else.
I've said it on the podcast before, and I will say it again. Any opportunity you have in life ever to buy people, you should say no.
Yes, just say no.
Don't buy people.
That's just, to me, that's just throwing your money down the drain. Goodness, use it somewhere else that will actually get you somewhere.
And I get it when people explain it to you that are trying to sell you on this idea, they make it sound really smart and really attractive. Like, oh, imagine how much better your page would look if you had 20,000 more followers.
That is something that we look at a lot. And now when I'm just scrolling on my own personal Instagram, I'll look and see, and it's like, that seems a little nuts. That number's a little high. I don't know about that. And then to me, if I think they're buying followers, that kind of sways what I think about what they're doing. I don't know. Are you that desperate?
It's kind of like a guy paying a girl to pretend to be his girlfriend so that he looks like better boyfriend material.
Right.
And really, he looks desperate because he's paying somebody to pretend to be his girlfriend,
Well, another one that I was thinking about was, social media, people think it's free. Oh, that's just a little extra we can do. That's free. That's not going to cost us much. In reality, it's so time consuming to get what you need done that asking somebody to do that for free or for peanuts or to wear all the hats in the marketing department for social media is not as free as you think it is. So right. I think that's something to be aware of when you hit all those points and you hit graphics and solid content and solid strategy and the right wording and the right hashtags and the right, all of these things, they're worth a lot when you put them together and they can really pack a punch. Whereas your account on Facebook might be free, but the rest of it takes a lot of work.
Right. Like I want you to be the graphic designer, the copywriter, the digital marketing specialist, and I want to pay you minimum wage because it's not really worth that much. It's like, okay.
Yeah. It takes a lot of brain power to do it too. It's not just one of those, I can pat your pretty little head and you can put something cute out there and it's going to go viral. Like we said, I think it's just a big misconception that, oh, we can just add that on. That's okay. And then people are surprised. And I feel like our prices are very, very reasonable. And people are surprised at how much it costs. But if you look at the time it takes to put the work in, it matters. It's bigger than you think. And it can make a big difference too. So
yeah, when you are asking your friend who does social media to do it for free, I would like to say social media is free. Good social media management is not free.
No.
Like I said, getting on Facebook, that's free. Getting on Instagram, that's free. Getting on there with a strategy and posting quality content and being consistent and responding to comments, like that's not free. That's ridiculous that you would even ask. So my next one is that when a quote business unquote offers you free things in your DMs for a review, it's probably a scam. They're probably not going to send you anything, or they're going to do the thing where they say, if you buy this product and give us a review, then we will send you the money you paid plus $5.
Mm-hmm.
And that is just not going to happen. It's not. If there is a legitimate company that wants you to do a review or something, they're not going to slide into your DMs with broken English and call you like pretty lady and try to get you to give them information. And here's the deal. You're going to go back and forth with them talking about this and how great it is. And they're going to tell you what you have to do. And you're going to be like, that sounds awesome. And then it's going to be like, just send us $27 for the shipping and we'll send this to you for free. Absolutely not. If you have an email address, a legitimate company can send to your email address. Mm-hmm. Or if you go through Influencer or one of those type sites where they match you up with different companies, that is a safer bet. But anybody that's like, I'm a rep for this company, you should DM them and say that I said to send you here. No, absolutely not.
Anything with that language should be red flag, red flag.
Absolutely. And people want free stuff. So I get it. It's very attractive when you see like, oh, I'll send you this thing for free. And it's probably something that you like. So everybody knows I like weird hair stuff. I love extensions. I love crazy wigs. I love all the things. And these wig people are on me all the time. We'll send you a free wig if you'll do a review. If that was true, I would be like, yes, every time. But it's not true. We'll send you a free wig if you send us $27 for shipping. Or if you just give us your bank account information so we can then deposit the money back to you. Like, no, you're not getting my bank information.
Scam alert.
Scam.
Just say no. Or just actually don't even say no. Just hit block and move on with your day.
Right. My last one is that everything you do on social media has to be super polished so that you look professional. If you go look at very professional pages that are not corporations, like if you're a pharmaceutical company, yeah, everything needs to look polished. You're not on there trying to show your personality. You're a pharmaceuticals company. But if you're a small business, if you are an influencer, any of these things, you want to be somewhat polished. You want to look professional, but you also want to be real. And you want people to be able to see who you are through your posts. Something as simple as going on stories and going live on stories and just talking to people goes a long way. And you can't plan for perfection when you do that because it's live. So understanding that it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be super polished. You know, you can just be yourself and have good quality, but also just let who you are shine through. And people are going to like that better than if it looks like an AI program created all of your graphics and made everything super polished.
I think there's a trend right now going that way where everything, even in some more medium-sized professional groups and that kind of thing, where the simpler is making a bigger impact. Always, anytime you put somebody's face out there, it's going to do better. A real person's face, not a stock image, but
yes.
You know, and you show that. And to me, I think it's hitting on that authentic vein, which is kind of important. I mean, we keep talking about fake stuff and, you know, all the AI is, what do you know is real, what is not real. And I think being authentic, being yourself, staying professional, but that goes a long way. It doesn't have to be super polished again, but you know, it doesn't have to be super complicated either.
What about you, Caryn? What is the biggest social media myth you see that needs to be debunked?
Probably the biggest myth that needs to be debunked is that quality social media is free, which you guys have addressed already. The platform's free. The marketing is not free. People still tell me frequently, nobody's on Facebook anymore. Yeah, they are. About 2 billion strong. I mean, it's one of those necessary evils. Even if you're not getting all of the engagement that you want to get on Facebook, people will pre-qualify you by going to Facebook to see if your company's real or not.
9 times out of 10, the person telling you that nobody's on Facebook anymore is on Facebook.
That is 100% correct.
My question is, are you on Facebook? Why do you think nobody else is? You are there.
You were active yesterday. What's the deal?
Conversely, TikTok is for kids. No. One of my favorite accounts is a man in his 80s. He has over 7 million followers. He's in England, and he has been sampling American cuisine. It is the most adorable thing you've ever seen.
Oh my goodness.
I have gone down the rabbit hole lately of people from other countries talking about that one thing that made me think of this topic was these people from other countries talking about the biggest myths they had about the United States before they actually traveled here.
Yes. Yeah.
And they were like, I thought everybody would have guns, and everywhere I walked around that I would see guns everywhere. And I didn't see guns anywhere except like the police officers had guns. And I went to Texas and I thought everybody would just have a gun on their side everywhere we went.
They do. You just can't see them.
Yeah.
And they were like, it's dangerous to travel to the United States. And I thought, oh my goodness, we think that about other countries.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's actually dangerous to travel to those countries, or if it's like this. And people are like, oh, don't go to the States. It's super dangerous there. And it's because our media is super popular everywhere, our movies and our music and everything. And so what all these other countries know about our country is the stuff that we put out. And we put out a lot of stuff, and they're like, oh, it's like the Wild West over there. Everybody's in gangs and like everybody's got guns.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my goodness. There's another lady that I follow on Instagram, and she's, I don't know, 104 or something. Wow. And she still travels. And she was laughing the other day because she was trying to book something online, and it red flags her out because it only took the 2 last digits of the year of her birth. Oh. And so she had to get walked through security, and bless her heart, she's darling. But man, she's savvy. She was doing great on her Instagram. So
That
it's
is
true.
hilarious.
A lot of ages hit a lot of different platforms.
Yeah, it's Grandpa Joe. I was checking the account. He is just a delight. And he's into Southern cuisine right now, and he likes it a lot. Okay. So my next myth is expecting success without participation.
Oh.
We are really good at what we do, but I am not a magician. So unless you give me something to go on, posting with any kind of success is going to be very difficult. I'm not expecting you to feed us everything. And conversely, I don't want our clients to write all of our captions, take all the pictures, and we're just posting it for them. You need to give us some leeway, but you have to participate. We have to get some behind the scenes photos. We have to get information about your events. Your calendar, your schedule, your promotions should not be a surprise for us. You have to tell us.
You know more about your business than we do.
Yes.
We aren't magicians, like you say. Can't pull a rabbit out of a hat. We try.
Another one is anything is better than nothing. False. There is terrible social media, and there are times you get exposure for the wrong reason. So you don't want to do that. You do want to get it for the right reason. Again, a lot of these myths are so close to each other. You don't have to post every day. That is a myth. But what you do post needs to be quality. So you can't just throw something up and expect for it to be okay. I'd rather see quality content consistently 3 times a week than for you to put up weird crap 5 times a week just to get it done, or post 5 times this week, once next week, 6 times the following week, skip 2 weeks. Just be consistent in the level of quality and the number of posts.
Have you been looking at my personal Instagram? Is that where this is going?
My personal Instagram. Every 20-year-old automatically knows how to do social media. False. Now, do we have social media managers, account managers in their 20s on our team that are amazing? Oh, absolutely. We've got several that are incredible in their 20s, but it wasn't magic. They had to learn how to do that. They didn't just come out of school or come out of the womb being able to post on Instagram. Although I think that kids are more and more savvy, so I may be eating those words in about a decade, but yeah.
Yeah, Gen Alpha comes out of the womb knowing how to play video games. It's weird.
Yes, they do.
So true.
Another myth, some businesses don't need social. Oh, we're lawyers. We don't need social media. Yeah, you do. There is not a single business that cannot benefit from some version of digital marketing. Mm-hmm. Now, do plumbers need to post what they do all day on Instagram? Oh, dear Lord, I hope not. But can they benefit greatly from Google reviews and Q&A on Google? 100%. So it depends on the business as to what's going to work for them the best, but no business can escape it entirely.
I would like to ask the question to a person that thinks that, name a well-established popular business that you know of that is not on social media. And if you can't think of any, that doesn't mean that there's not businesses on social media. It means you don't know about them, and neither does anybody else because they're not on social media. If I don't drive past your business every day, how would I even know it's there?
Yeah. Some of my favorite lawyers have great accounts. Mm-hmm. Well, some have great accounts, and it's a joy to watch them. I follow this younger female attorney who, one of the things that she does is read court transcripts that are funny. It's a delight.
Listen, I don't know if Alexander Shannara is a great lawyer, but I do know that he is a great marketing strategist. Yes. If he ever decides to go into another line of work, he can come work at Social U because he is a marketer through and through.
That's adorable that you think he works. That is just precious.
He literally signs autographs at cons.
Yes. Yeah.
That is a level of marketing. You're a lawyer and you get invited to cons to give your autograph. That is a level of marketing. That is expert level.
So when we travel to Alabama, we know we're in Alabama when we see the Alexander Shannara billboard. He's everywhere.
Every mile for 10 miles, right when you enter the state.
You guys talked about, which post will go viral, which is insane. Kind of adjacent to that is social media will instantly generate sales. Well, we've been doing it for 30 days. Where's the ROI? That's not how it works. That is not how this works. You have to have a solid presence, and we will get people. I will meet someone at a networking meeting who will talk to me and shake my hand, somebody I've never met before, and then they will say, oh, I've seen your videos on Facebook. So it validates what I'm telling them. Or, oh, I've seen your information. I've read your blog. Shocking to me. That's always delightful. But you never know who's seeing it. And people have to see the message repeatedly before they actually take action on the message. It's not a magic bullet.
Yeah, like if you've never ran before and you start Couch to 5K today, 30 days from now, you ain't running a marathon.
Becky Johnson, did you just say never ran before?
I've never ran before.
I'm just impressed you pulled out Couch to 5K. I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I hadn't heard ain't in a long time either. Wow. You have such a dramatic impact on the way I talk. The second I start talking to Becky, I'm like, how y'all doing? Yeah.
I tried the Couch to 5K and I have tried it several times. I can't get past week 4. Wherever it is where you're finally running for like a whole mile, I'm just like, I'm out.
That's not fun.
Well, kudos to anybody running is so hard on knees and stuff. So kudos to anybody who's doing it on the regular.
Right. It's one of those things where it looks like it would be easy because you're like born with legs and like it's a natural thing to walk. Like you think running would just be natural and easy, but it's not. Like you have to know how to run.
To my next social media myth, not all promotions work. You can, and we have this happen. We've had it happen before. You have a client who wants to run a contest or a promotion, and they come to you with maybe the worst idea ever. Wow. And you politely or gently try to tell them, that's just not a great idea. Oh yeah, people are going to love this. They are not, in fact, going to love this. So not everything is just the silver bullet. You have to give things that people want to win, and you also have to do it at the right time.
And there's rules you need to follow. You can't just go, yeah, I'm going to do this and make them do this and make them do this. If you want to get kicked off the platform, you can.
Oh, one of our clients has a new person at a location, and he was telling me about her. And he said, I told her that you're our rule enforcer. I'm like, well, I am. I'm not going to let you do anything that's going to damage your brand. So yeah, we're hardcore about that stuff.
Somebody's got to be.
That's like saying, I told her you're good at your job.
Social media is not quick. It takes time to get results and get, put quality messaging. And there's a learning curve. Most of our clients, it takes us about 30 days to really get into the swing and for them to get into the habit of checking, because we get a lot of stuff pre-approved. So it takes some time to kind of ramp up. My next myth would be, and Laura, you said this, you don't have to be on it. You don't have to be all things to all people. There's no need for you to be on every platform. That's crazy.
Unless you're a social media company.
And then you don't have a choice, in which case.
But we're not on Snapchat, so.
And then you have a team, seriously. Our team rolls it together amazingly. And I don't do any of our social, and it's awesome.
There are still people who think that if they don't post first thing in the morning, they won't get the exposure they need. Wrong. The time of the day matters, and it's relevant. A lot of it's relevant to your industry. It just depends on what you're selling and who your audience is as to what time they're online. Another myth, your posts only matter if they go viral. Wrong. Everything matters. Anything you post that represents your company, it matters. People see it. And again, I'm shocked at how many times someone has come up to me and said, oh, I saw that thing you did 5 years ago. I'm like, are you kidding me? Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh yeah. It happens. It happens all the time.
I subscribe to slow and steady wins the race. I mean, you just keep going, keep putting out quality, and, value matters.
Something that you may not have thought about too that goes along with that I have seen ruin a place is people see when your account likes something from another account. So be careful with what you're liking on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all the things, because people can see that you liked this thing. So if you're liking all this political stuff and it's like Sarah's Cookies liked this and Sarah's Cookies liked this, people are going to know that's you.
Yeah. Well, and I was online on Instagram and I liked one of our team members is on vacation and I liked her post and I thought, I'm in the wrong account. I have to like this from my own instead of the business. That looks weird for a random business to like her beach pictures. It looks creepy. I'm like, nope. So pay attention. And I think the last one, and I've heard this, I have had panicked phone calls asking me, you guys are going to laugh. Is AI going to take over your job? No.
AI can't even do fingers, people. Come on.
No. AI is a great tool. It generates great information if the right person is steering the boat. It can be super effective in what you use. It's a great research tool, but AI is not going to, and people ask me what I do for a living. I've joked around for many years and said, I tell people you can't do that for a living. AI is not going to tell you that's a bad idea. I would recommend this. Our experience shows this. Your statistics show this. Industry statistics show this. Yeah, it's a great tool, but it's not a replacement for the talent who actually does that.
Every bit of AI we've used, it still has to be edited.
Yeah.
It still has to have that personal human touch on it to make it right.
Well, and I've read articles, and Becky touched on this about everybody that says that they're an expert. It's not really an expert. I cannot tell you how many presentations I've seen or articles I've read, and somebody say something like, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
That's straight up not correct. Yeah. The key to success is Snapchat. Wrong.
I guess it depends on your industry.
It does, but yeah, I'd rather be set on fire than be on Snapchat. So, yeah, not all experts are experts.
But for social media this week, I have gone down several rabbit holes this week.
Shocking.
But I'm going to talk about one of the ones I went through next week. But this week, the one I want to talk about is kind of a Debbie Downer. But I have noticed because of social media, we live in a day and age where you can just put your whole life out there, right? There is a large portion of people who have terminal illness and document the end of their life.
Wow.
And yeah, it's really heavy. And you go to these accounts and it's so tragic because everything starts off really positive and it's like, oh, I'm taking this, I'm going to be in this clinical trial. Everything's going to be great. And then literally they are documenting every week, every few days, whatever, until the point where you get to their last post. And it's really tragic. I just wanted to talk about what you think about that. And do you think that is therapeutic for that person? Do you think it's therapeutic for them and a good thing for them? And also about the legacy that they're leaving where other people can see all this, where their children can see all this, thoughts. Because I thought you see it once and you're like, oh, okay. But then there's so many. I watched one and then everything that got shown to me for the next 2 days was, here's another one, here's another. And it was just shocking to me how many of those were on there.
Yeah, I think you're right on all of those points. It's kind of like a therapy. It's like a video diary for those people, for one thing. And I would think that would be therapeutic to get that out, and also could help more people down the line. But man, it would be tough to watch a lot of that.
Oh yeah,
it would be really tough.
There's a chef, Bob, online who has been diagnosed, and he is leaving his recipes to his children, and it's a great homage. It's literally his legacy that he is leaving to his family. But yeah, that's harsh. One of the most clever things I've ever heard is when your child is born, you go get an email in their name and you email them something. Anytime something important happens, you send it to their email so that when they're old enough and you can turn it over to them, they have that. Pictures from their birthday parties and important milestones and things that you're proud of. And I think that's such a great idea. But again, it's legacy and it's stored in a digital place that can't be lost.
Yeah.
I do think that it can help other people too, because I'm not going through that right now, but I watched one video of this lady who has got stage 4 pancreatic cancer. It's very, very painful. She's going to lose her ability to do all the things. So she opted to go to another country and do euthanasia, where she has everything planned out. And she literally, on the last day of her life, woke up that morning and made her last video. And she's talking about, at 1:00, I'm going to take this cocktail of medicines that's going to relax me and make sure I'm not in any pain and all the things. And then 30 minutes later, I'm going to take this one and I should just go to sleep. And she's like, I wish it could be another way, but I'm not scared. I've made my peace. This is just another part of life. And she was oddly positive and oddly optimistic. She's like, all of my kids are coming over later today and we're going to all spend the day together and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a wonderful day. And then they're all going to be with me. And I just felt like if I were in that situation, seeing her be so positive and so brave would make me feel better. Like maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not as bad as I'm thinking it is because this lady is doing it with such grace, you know?
And you're talking about real people, but there's a book that y'all may have read, and I forget the author, but it's Me Before You, and they made it into a movie. And it's kind of about that whole concept. And I read it, and it's not the type of book I usually read, and it just really put that situation into perspective for me. And whether you agree with it or not, I mean, I'm not even going there, but you don't know what it's like to walk in people's shoes ever, but that helps. And all of us have some empathy, whether they're documenting on social or, you're reading about it or whatever. It's a window to a world that I hope many, many people don't ever have to experience. But if we can have a little more empathy for that, I think that's huge. And if it can just help a few people understand, I could see why they'd want to do it.
Right. Yeah. And this woman was like, if I don't do this, I'm going to lose the ability to like know who my family is. I'm going to lose the ability to eat. I'm going to starve to death. It's going to be like a really painful, drawn out, hard on my family. Like this is hard on my family, but that would be harder on my family. Whereas I can choose to do this now on my own terms when I'm still in my right mind. I'm still able to do things and I can have a good life up until the very end. And I'm like, there was a time in my life where I would have been like, absolutely not, never. That's never okay. But I'm like, if I were in that situation, I don't know that I would not make that same choice.
Yeah, that's brave.
Yeah.
So that was fun.
Well, also on that, what about like legacy accounts on Facebook?
Yeah.
I hate when people don't set up their legacy person and then somebody hacks their account and then all of a sudden your dead friend Paul is sending you messages. How are you doing? Well, this is weird because you've been dead for 5 years. So
yeah, that's always makes me feel really icky.
That's a long distance email. Sippin Social Tea this week says, text from Vice President of Marketing. Now, first, let me stop right there. Vice President of Marketing, you think this is somebody that's going to know something about marketing, right?
Yeah.
About digital marketing. Text from Vice President of Marketing. Someone emailed me about a tweet that's critical of our newest policy. We'd like it removed immediately. So someone else tweeted about their policy and they want their social media manager to remove it.
That's not how this works.
That's not how any of this works.
Again, put on your magic hat and
how am I going to go in and remove Sheila's tweet? I didn't make her tweet. And you can't just have it removed because you don't like it.
I just made the oldest reference ever.
I loved it. For those of you who couldn't see Caryn, she did the genie reference. I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah.
Or you could just wiggle your nose.
Right? I feel like I've been doing that all day. My nose is itching, but it's like we're talking about magicians. So
can you do that?
So I used to do hair and I had a little sign because I was at a little salon in Alabama. I had a sign on my station that said I'm a beautician, not a magician.
That's great.
It's kind of rude, but also funny.
Funny.
We should have a little social you phrase about that. We come up with something catchy.
So I was on Temu yesterday, which
Why?
You'll see that haul later. But
Becky, off of Temu.
You can use PayPal.
We all worry about everybody.
Yeah.
They had a t-shirt on there that said, I'm a delight. And it made me think of you. They had a purse that looked like a Mylar balloon. It looked like a silver star Mylar balloon. How would I not buy that?
Yeah.
It was $8.
Wow. Here's a guy I follow who's Irish, and he's like, follow me, I'm delicious. And I just love that. So
you're like, your voice is delicious.
No, that I just think he's funny. Let's just keep him in that wheelhouse. Funny. But yeah, I like the idea of saying, follow me, I'm a delight.
And you are a delight.
So you have to end your trainings with that, Caryn.
So join us next week when Caryn will be even more of a delight.
Follow me, I'm a delight.
Thanks for listening to the Social U podcast, sponsored by Social University. We'll see you next week.